Another season has come upon us, another 3 months have passed us by, and a new age of anime lies before us. Which sounds rather dramatic for something so usual and common. Yes, a new season of anime is airing, and with it, new entries into the lexicon of anime culture, new potential leaders of our fandom shows that we might be talking about for years to come. Or, maybe just the next few weeks. Oh hey, get excited about this show that you're not gonna care about 4 months from now. Makes you wonder why we bother sometimes, doesn't it? Well, the reason why we bother is very simple. For every season that airs, there is a chance, however small, that there is a series within it that'll be that show. A show that sticks with you. A show that reminds you why you watched anime to begin with. A show that you can point to instantly when you have a friend that asks the inevitable question, so, anything good this season? So today I have scoured through the information we have before us on the upcoming summer 2017 season and bring you 5 shows, one of which, if we are very lucky, will perhaps be, for you, that show. Ladies, gentlemen, and others, I would like to present my top 5 most anticipated anime of summer 2017. Let's jam. So how are our prospects? Well, I'm never one to judge an entire season so early in its life cycle, though coming off last season with the double Saturday hitter of My Hero Academia and Attack on Titan, along with several other noteworthy shows that were airing during the week, the summer season has a lot to live up to. I'm going to start off with a personal pick, one that I doubt many people will agree with me on, but hey, it's my list. New Game! The first season of New Game aired last year, and it was a wonderfully wholesome comedy slice of life that gave a quite exaggerated view into the video game development world. It was not a series that I would have ever pointed to as one to be taken seriously as far as its depiction of the job or what those people do for a living, but the setting was intriguing regardless. It ended up being one of the few anime from its season that I watched each week until completion, and I'm very excited to see another season come from it. We live in an era where sequels to things that don't have massive mainstream success either are never seen again or get far more adaptations than necessary. Hopefully I don't end up getting too much of a good thing here and then start to hate the series by the end. Next up, an interesting entry, Fate Apocrypha. The Fate franchise and I have had an interesting history together. First with me proclaiming that the 2006 adaptation of Fate Stay Night was my favorite anime of all time, an opinion I have long since changed. And now Fate as a series has more entries and spin-offs across multiple mediums than I can possibly keep track of. Even if I tried, apparently the few that we do get here in the West have localization problems up the wazoo. Totally talking about Fate Grand Order right now. I'm also even in the process of doing a video on a newcomer's guide to the Fate franchise. Hashtag please look forward to it. But here we have Fate Apocrypha, an adaptation to a light novel that really has nothing to do chronologically with any anime adaptation of Fate that we've seen before. The setting is an alternate reality where some shenanigans happened in the backstory and now everything is different. But a crap ton of events from the main Fate franchise never occurred, so we get a bunch of new characters, new servants, and a whole new battle to hopefully watch and enjoy. Personally, it's on the list for 2 reasons. One, it's Fate, and while I completely realize that it has a convoluted continuity and I'm sorely lacking in knowledge of it, the chance to dive back into Fate with something unrelated to the original Fate Stay Night is a thing that I have been pining for a while now. I am also interested in what A1 Pictures ends up doing now that they've been handed the series. It'll inevitably be compared to the votable adaptations, especially with Heaven's Feel coming up, so to see what they can pull off under such pressure might be interesting. Or it'll just be a wet-hot mess, and I won't watch anything beyond the first few episodes. We'll have to see. Centaur no Nayami. Here's a series that I've been looking forward to for a while, because earlier this year we bore witness to a similar show by the name of Interviews with Monster Girls. It was a short 12-episode comedy anime with demigirls on parade that attempted to showcase how these quote-unquote monster girls actually survived everyday life. And while I did enjoy the series and thought it was lovely, I also thought that it never went far enough. I'm not looking for Monster Musume or Monster Girl Quest levels of Monster Girls, but when you have a story about Monster Girls, it would really help your case. If the majority of them didn't look like they could pass themselves off as normal people. Hell, they were all normal looking if all you counted was from the neck down. So now this season brings us Centaur no Nayami, which looks to be solving that problem quite quickly. The promotional videos show several different species of Monster Girl, and the general feeling that these PVs give off is a lighthearted one, not one heavily steeped in comedy or anything. And comedy is fine, of course, but I'm just hoping for something that can be a little bit more wholesome if we can get it, and hopefully this series will provide. Princess Principal. I fully expect many people to write this series off as the promotional material looks like it's going to be some weird action hybrid with girls in semi-maid outfits. They're not actually maid outfits, they're school uniforms, though I doubt that matters much. It's a story set in 19th century London, and the brief synopsis talks about spies and disguises and intrigue. The feeling that I'm getting is quite similar to some anime from the early 2000s, specifically the series Noir. Not surprising, since the director of Princess Principal, Masaki Tachibana, directed an episode of Noir and also did some storyboards as well. So the similarity stands. On top of all of that, the PV teases us with this interesting take on jazz music from the lovely Yuki Kajiura. I'm not necessarily sold on her composition used here, as the mix between jazz and the traditional vocals that she has in her works sounded a bit odd, but the last time that Kajiura was attached to a series starring a group of young girls, we got Madoka, and while I'm not expecting that kind of heel turn in the plot, I'm hoping for something at least intriguing. Lastly, out of the 5 that I wanted to look at is a series called The Reflection. I'll give you one guess to figure out what made me look into it. Obviously, it's Scanlan. No. Though that is an interesting facet of the project. Here's what we know about it. It's a superhero series that has Stan Lee's fingerprints on it. It's being directed by Hiroshi Nagahama, who previously directed the entirety of Mushishi, and it's going to be going head-to-head with My Hero Academia by airing on Saturday. They are either really confident or really stupid. Nagahama's direction, though, is what makes me feel like the series has a chance. Anime adaptations of actual Marvel works have never been that noteworthy in the past, but an original IP with a good team behind it has a chance to be something great. As long as it's just better than the very bare-bones synopsis that we currently have, I'll be happy. Because just having it be, well, we have this perfectly normal world and suddenly superpowers, like, that's been done to death, and it's going to take something special to separate it from other shows that are similar. So that's my current 5. Beyond these, there are several shows that I might check out, but I haven't seen anything as of yet to make me excited. Like a diving series that may or may not be better than Free, a series to show that even competitive quizzes can be exciting, and another series about a normal guy being sucked into a fantasy world. This time with a working smartphone! I'd like to be optimistic about these, but it's very hard to do so at this juncture. I don't know. We'll see what changes in the next couple of weeks. So that's it for me. A special thank you to all of my patrons who make these videos possible, including Victor Ekmark, Joshua Garcia, Hedril Leon, Bing Theo, Calhoun Boy, and Siri Yamako, who are all especially awesome. And until next time, ladies, gentlemen, and others, stay frosty.